Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to JJ's PC Builds. This is JJ right at you. Today, we're going to do an update on what Intel is doing. I'm going to try to do it better than I did last time. Hopefully, Intel sees this and they'll see it in the graces to come and email me and let's talk. But without further ado, let's do the B-roll and sit tight because it's going to get interesting right here on JJ's PC Builds. Well, welcome back. You made it back from the B-roll, I could see. But anyway, let's get to business, shall we? Intel's got something coming up, and it's on the 13th, but we'll get to that point in a moment. But we want to touch base a little bit back on the Intel 13th Gen. As you can see, we're kind of doing everything a little bit differently here because I'm trying my best to make better videos for y'all. But anyway, make sure you like and subscribe, and let's get back to this. This is a new page I made for the Intel, my Intel thingy here. So as you can see, I got a little bit creative. So you'll see that on the front just to let you know. Intel leadership when it comes to gaming, it looks like they got some good stats here against the Ryzen 9 50, what was it? 5950X. They got World of Warcraft 6% over the Ryzen 9. Intel does, and it looks like they got many games that they're up and over the top with their new 13th gen processor. So don't mind this picture, it's kind of a little blurry, but we'll work on it in future stats. But on the next part of this, okay, comparison. This is what we're going to do for comparison. I just dropped right into the screen. I just pulled it right up so that way y'all can read it better. I know trying to do the picture thing, I thought it would work for, you know, the stats and everything for the Intel processor. Let's see what we can see right now. Intel Core 9K and KF does the 5.8 gigahertz. Its boost max is up to 5.7. It's got 3.0 technology. Performance cores is up to 5.4. Efficiency cores is up to 4.3. And, well, wait a minute. Performance core is up to 5.4. I'll get it right one of these days. Efficiency core is max turbo frequency is 4.3, and performance core base frequency is 3.0. That's for the i9K and the i9KF Intel Core. And that's the, and for the i7 and the i7KF, it's 5.4 gigahertz on the Turbo Max frequency. Turbo Max boost, 3.0 technology frequency, 5.4. Performance core max turbo frequency is 5.3. Efficiency core max turbo frequency is 4.2 gigahertz. Performance core base frequency is 3.4. That's not bad for the i7K and KF. That's pretty good. Then you got the i5K and the i5KF. The The i5 is probably going to be more your budget friendly kind of processor. So it's up to 5.1 on the max turbo frequency. It's up to for the performance core max turbo frequency is 5.1. Efficiency core max turbo frequency is up to 3.9. Performance core base frequency is 3.5. So, but for some reason, I don't really understand why the Turbo Boost Max, they don't have it available. It's probably because I'm going to guess that it's a lock chip. That's the reason why it doesn't have that. It's just a guess. Y'all can tell me in the comments if it's not, or, however that goes. But, with innovation, it is what it is. So, I mean, like they're saying here, the 13 Gen Core desktop processor brings you the ultimate immersive experiences, whether you are engaged in intense gaming or creating or highly focused work sessions. Enhanced Intel UHD graphics driven by X architecture delivers vibrant, high quality visual support for up to 8K 60 HDR video and up to 4 simultaneous 4K 60 displays. Okay, now if they're saying that's for an iGPU, and everybody's saying, well, it's not the greatest, well, I would like to sample that myself, because if it's an iGPU and it gives you all this, then that would be something. That would be awesome. That means I won't have to go as far as getting a graphics card. As much as I want a graphics card, one day I will get the one I want. It's going to take time. But anyway, it's enjoy the efficient noise suppression and professional voice output with Intel Gaussian and Neutral Accelerator 3.0. It's the Intel GNA. These premier sensory experiences are enabled by the best in the class wired and wireless connectivity provided by Intel Killer Wi-Fi 6/6E, which intelligently manages and routes your internet traffic to help you stay connected to the fastest channels. The 13th Gen Intel Core desktop processor delivers seamless, immersive user experience to power your creativity and focus. Now, when a company does that and they tell you like that, then they mean business. They mean to give you the biggest and the best, just to let you know. But that's a little bit more of an end cap on the Intel 13th Gen processor. There's more to come on it. I'm just giving little bits and pieces of what I get from information from the net. So we're going to go ahead and roll over to the graphics card. So hold on a minute and stick around. We're going to reverse the roles. Let's go ahead and get to this here. It looks like 1080p gaming, ray tracing. I want you to think about this. This is what everybody really uses. Say the everyday man uses the 1080p ray tracing. Me, myself, I have Intel products, but it's going to be something new with me trying that 1080p game tracing. But moving on along, we'll come back to this in a moment. What it's going to come down to is October 12th. Right here. October 12th is going to be the launch date. It's a couple days away, so y'all better be ready for it. They got some good products. And if you're thinking about buying one, try it out. You never know what you might find. $349 for the limited edition, $329 for the regular. I'd imagine they're the same ones. One's just named limited edition, the other one's just, your normal brand name. I'm sure they got both the same output in performance. So let's see, the Arc 7, the A770 is, here's the numbers for you. It's got 32 XE cores, it's got 32 ray tracing cores, it's got the XMX engine 512, and it's got a graphics clock of 2100 megahertz. But to refine on the last video that I did about this video card here, the Intel right here, I wasn't sure if it was going to go over 21 megahertz. I was looking around for the stats and everything else, and they got it up to around 2400 megahertz. So it is possible, and it does have 16 gigabytes of GDDR6, and it's got a 256-bit memory interlace. Sorry, I'm kind of waking up this morning to this news. It's got 560 gigabit memory bandwidth. And bandwidth of the memory, when you're playing the games, if you got a wide spectrum of memory bandwidth, I mean a wide spectrum, it opens up a new era right there. Because basically in a spectrum like this, you don't want it so close like this. You want the spectrum like this. You want it wide banded. And with frequencies and stuff like that, you definitely want it to where it's wide enough to where you can get all angles. So memory bandwidth is very important, especially me doing online 3D gaming. Memory bandwidth is everything. I know some gamers say, well, memory bandwidth don't mean nothing. Well, actually it does. It really does, because it kind of proportions your FPS out and makes it like stretch. It's like a rubber band effect. It stretches, and that's exactly what you want it to do. You want it to stretch. You want to be able to cover all areas of that bandwidth. And it's got 225 watts total board power, which I know they kind of got it up to about 250 or 245, somewhere in between there. So it will go up a little past what it's supposed to do. And all I can say is with this is the configuration of the graphics card. You got your DP 2.0, you got your HDMI 2.1. It's PCI Gen 4.0 X16. Now, if some your video cards come with 3.0 X8, and some come with 3.0 X16, and then you got your 4.0 X8, and you get your 4.0 X16. So if you get the X8, it's not going to give you as much lanes as an X16 board would. So with their board, what they're saying is that you get 16 X16 worth of I could say it's bandwidth. From my perspective, I think it's more or less like a bandwidth. It's basically like PCIe lanes. It's got that amount of number of PCIe lanes to where it'll allow the flow to go from the video card to your processor back and forth, back and forth. It'll allow the fluctuation to go back and forth. So with having more spectrum, more lanes, it'll give you a better graphic experience, I would say. It's got 6 VRM phases. It shows you right here the 6 VRM phases. And it's got standard 6 and 8 pin power connectors. And it does say it has a high-speed GDDR6 memory module. And this is basically the inside of your card. So you can see right there, and I'm showing you right there, this is what it looks like. I might not have it in my hands Intel, but I do have it on the graphic, on the spreadsheet here. So at least they can see something instead of me having nothing to work with. I got something right here. So we're going to continue with this. And here's some more specs for you to give you an insight of what's going on. This shows you the XMX engines. This shows you the XE cores. It shows you everything you need to know. And you can take and pause this video right here, so that way you can see it and you can take a screenshot so you can get a good idea of the specs for the video card. I'll tell you what, back in '86, they didn't have specs like this. They just gave you one video card and say plug it into whatever system you had, believe it or not. When they first come out with the video cards, it was like going from an iGPU to a graphics card was the most amazing thing I have ever seen. The graphics way back then in the early 80s, they were not as good as what y'all have now. And I can say the new generation, you have it good. Okay, believe it or not. Back then, it wasn't as glorious as what you all have now. So, if you want to know what we had back years ago, it's best to get one of those 186 PCs or the 286 PCs or the 386 PCs. Try to slap a new video card in a 386 PC and see what kind of graphics you get. I mean, the graphics back then were, to us that was great. But this is just phenomenon. Just to let you know. It's a phenomenon. And that right there is the ARC's A770. I know it's already been out there for reviews and everything else. I just wanted to touch up on it because for the simple fact that, I hear everybody sitting there saying the driver problems and this problems and that problems. What do you think we did back in 1986, in 1984? What do you think we went through with the driver problems, not just with Intel, not just with, you had basically IBM and all them. You know, you had all the old school ones. What do you think kind of driver problems we had back then? Companies way back then, you know, basically, you could say with Intel here, you know, just starting out in this adventure, they're not really starting out into this adventure, just to let you know. They still do the iGPUs for their processors and for laptops. They've done that for years. So this isn't their first rodeo on doing video. Okay? They're just catching up with the big boys. That's all they're doing. And they're putting their new iGPU and making a discrete GPU. So they're bringing their new to the market. Y'all don't judge them just because, you know, they're just starting off. This is their, you know, this is their first rodeo. Give them a chance. You never know. In 4 years, and I've said this on my previous videos, 4 years down the road, they're going to be doing something. They're probably going to be so caught up in the next 4 years with the big boys that innovation is just, everybody's going to be like, whoa, you're right. And y'all can come back to this video and review it over and over again, and I'm going to say, I told you so. I told you so. Just to let you know. But anyway, we don't want this video to get too long. You all have a fine morning, fine breakfast, and fine whatever. And do enjoy the rest of your day. I probably will have another video coming out this afternoon or this evening. So, this is JJ, your boy. We will see you on the flip side.